Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind, these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are after market close on Wednesday, January 12th. Going to take a look at SoFi. So SoFi today, having a relatively flat day. I know red days just generally feel annoying because there's been so much pullback lately in the stock. And so even slight red days, well, I don't know, maybe some folks rejoice over, thankfully we didn't drop another 3% today. Maybe that's the case. But, to me, it was just kind of par for the course, like we had said on Monday's video, it was just following the market around, right? It was just following the overall indices around the entire day. And as it pertains to the fintech space in particular, SoFi was just kind of keeping pace with FinX and ArcF, right? It had a slightly less red day, I guess, than both of those, but really just kind of on par with where they're at. That said, and that said, meaning like that's a big deal. I think that's mostly just what's going on with SoFi at the moment. It in terms of our chart that we have here, it has worked its way back to attempt this 14. We'll pull out to the daily shortly, but as I'm sure yesterday and certainly the day before, dipping into the 12s, that was, pretty wild. Luckily, it was able to reclaim the 13s and confirm it toward the end of the day, and that helped spring it for a run at 14s the following day. And now today we came in the 14s and then reemerged back into the 13s. But luckily, the lowest point there, not even being the mid 13s. So it tested 1375, possibly pretty solid psychological level, and then relatively quickly reclaimed the $14 level and then just kind of fought with that most of the day, selling off a little bit into close. But it does give me some hope that maybe we're sort of like stabilizing in a spot here. And as we know, SoFi has been incredibly strong in terms of catalyst drivers, and strong meaning in either direction, right? It has large reactions to drivers, and knowing that earnings, will be coming up in a bit, maybe we have some stabilization ahead of that, and then that, becomes the next big catalyst. The other thing would potentially be if there are any other analyst ratings that come out, and of course the bank charter would be a game changer. So I think I mentioned this a few videos back, but I've grown quite tired of, quite wary of dealing with all of the speculation around when the bank charter is coming or if it's not coming. And, people are just looking for things that they're just kind of making up in their head. And I definitely understand that, because you look for signs and signals and things that seem to sort of logically make sense. But, these are wildly lengthy, intricate bureaucratic processes, and I just think that we are probably ill-equipped from the outside to really be legitimately deciphering what's going on and trying to read the tea leaves from there. So I don't know what's going to happen then, even when it does come through. Certainly if it doesn't get approved, which I'd be really, really surprised over, I would imagine a pretty big pullback in the price. Unfortunately, I don't know that the opposite is true, that if we get the stamp of approval and okay, good to go, SoFi Bank, that it really runs. I hope so. And I would tend to think so. I tend to think there would be a strong reaction in either direction, just because there have been such strong reactions to just simple analysts initiating price targets, initiating coverage on SoFi. That seems to be much, much bigger of a deal to me, the bank charter. So we'll have to see. But that's sort of my 2 cents, and why I don't necessarily keep up with every recent fad topic on, signs and signals that the bank charter is coming on. Do you remember this toward the end of the last year, how it's like bank charter is coming on Monday? There's like all this chatter about it coming like the beginning of December or something. I don't know. And it's insane to call out these dates. But anyway, if we zoom in on the daily chart here, this recent downtrend resistance has been broken. So I would take that of strong note today that even though we drew back today, we were able to jump up enough yesterday that it gave us sort of a launching point over this downtrend resistance. And like I said, here if we're able to base over 14, and definitely if we're able to reclaim that 1466, which has like strengthened a bit, though I still don't think it's the strongest level. I think 15 and a half is a much stronger level. But if we get able to reclaim that 1466 level, I would think we're throwing in the potential for kind of stabilizing here and waiting for a catalyst to come. Because I don't know that short of any of the catalysts that we just talked about, or maybe some that are unknown to me, that we'd really see the initiation of a big run. Like that to me would have to be sort of coming about because retail decides to latch onto it and drive it through several of these resistance levels, and for some reason that they would want to do that. Yeah, otherwise I think it's a catalyst game at this point, and I think we're lucky if we can stabilize here like in the $15-ish range, that this was just sort of like a dalliance to allowing some folks to get some really cheap shares. I don't know, but I'm hopeful that this candle is maybe a lead into something of a downtrend resistance break. That said, there's plenty of resistance levels in the days and dollars to come. And I do think that we're still mostly at the sort of just kind of have the market on whole, like the larger indices I was talking about, on a leash, and we're just kind of being dragged around by that for the most part. And again, that's because SoFi not necessarily having any particular strength of its own, not necessarily anything that's going to help carry it through when the market's pulling back and have it show that relative strength that we would look for, especially short of a particular catalyst. We did see it for a few days, a couple weeks back or so, but it hasn't persisted through that time frame. So I hope that makes sense. And again, it's just my opinion, so take that take that into consideration, right? Any of these things are just my opinion. So, but we'll see what candle we get after this one tomorrow. I'm hopeful at the moment for this reclaim of 14 and maybe an attempt at 1466 there, and we'll just have to see. But otherwise, I'm just waiting for stabilization and the next catalyst to come. And of course, I'm hoping that it's a positive one for the bulls, but you just don't know. All right, folks, I hope that your week is going well and that you're able to finish it off strong in the days ahead. And as always, I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.